Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and welcome to the Tamer's Take with Varni and Dan. Yes, the Tamer's Take, not Digitalks. Didn't realize that was
Yeah,
taken.
we might
last
have made a mistake, you know what I'm saying?
last minute
We don't want to get
decisions.
copyrighted or anything, you know?
So
So we
yes,
took a little time to figure out what we're gonna name ourselves now, you know?
just a little bit longer, thanks to our good friend, good old Gemini. We came up with a very
Right.
nice option, the Tamer's Take. So instead of
Let's
streaming,
rephrase. I made that one up though.
all right, Dan
Give
made
me
it up. He
credit.
did.
Give my
He
credit, man.
He did say he was thinking about something like the Digi Take. If you guys watch sports, you know First Take with Stephen A.
I
Smith and
definitely
crew.
said I definitely said Tamer's take afterwards. Because you said something with Tamers that it popped
Yes,
up and that's
that's what
Tamer's
I
take.
was
Oh,
getting
okay.
there.
I was making sure,
I was
making
talking
sure.
about First Take because originally you
My
mentioned
fault, go ahead. Yeah,
The
the
Digi
Digitake.
Take, and I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah, yeah.
and we said Tamer's Table, and I was like, or Dan was like, huh, Tamer's Table, that kind of kicks, but what about Tamer's Take? And I was like, you know what? That hits. That hits. So here we are. The Tamer's Take. Bet you're wondering what this is. Dan, what is the Tamer's Take?
I don't know. You tell us, man.
I don't know.
Because I don't know. All jokes aside, it's a kind of like a talk show, right? We're going to just bullshit about
That's the
stuff. A
fact.
little different than the podcast. Podcast is a little structured. We're planning to, whatever a topic takes us, we're going to take it. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. We got the
With
viewer
chat.
phone in. You're right. With chat. Viewer phone
Exactly.
in. We taking the live questions. Y'all can let us know what you think real time. So that's the idea. Every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. EST. It's only 7:26. We're 4 hours, or sorry, 4 hours. Good lord, 4 minutes ahead of schedule. But
Yeah. Something
that's
like
the
that.
goal. Maybe 7:15. Maybe that's fine. Somewhere between the times of 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live questions. Question number
Live.
one. Dan, when you ready to get them ankles broken?
Yo, come to PA, Pan. What's up?
Listen, it's not the ankles. If y'all watched the latest episode of Digitrivia, you'll know it's really the thumbs because Dan ain't got that thumb work. He thinks he could beat me in Mario Party, but realistically,
Tell you,
he ain't got that work, Chief. He ain't got that work.
So since I'm such a sore loser, I'm gonna keep quiet about everything until the time comes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not allowed to make explanations on what happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm not allowed to, when someone wants to go ham and
You know what? No, this is actually perfect. This is going to be our first
yeah.
topic of pod of pod.
Chat,
There I go.
real
I'm
quick.
talking about pod.
Yeah, right. Chat, hold on, chat. We're going to do this for a fact now. Me and Varney are going to record a one-on-one of basketball, and we're going to upload it. We're
I
going to
know
we're going to
Dan
play
will
Mario
school me
Party.
in basketball. Okay,
We're going to play Mario Party and also record it and see what happens. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. You know, don't worry, Dan. Surely the third game of Jeopardy will follow the rules and not screw you on correction speeds. Exactly. That's all that matters because once I hit one, it's over. It's just gonna be a rapid fire of easy answers from me because I knew most of those answers. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna record it. I promise you, Chad. Promise, it's gonna pop up.
so our comments on this Jeopardy video that we did. So we got a comment. Dan is such a sore loser. Dude has an excuse for everything that goes wrong. That's a damn fact. Dan can't take and hold an L. When we go to locals and I kick his ass, he's always like fuming. He's got this like mad ass look on his face.
All right, exaggerations. No, not all the time. No. I'm more mad because of me not being able to play a game because I break more than anything else. Let's put it like that. But I'm gonna give another response to that answer. Sometimes certain people in life, they're just winners. You know what I'm saying? So when
Yeah,
when you're someone,
that's me. I'm the winner.
Winner. Shut up. So when you're someone like me who's very competitive and has done a lot of winning in life, we don't take losing being okay. I'm not an okay loser.
Loser!
No one should be an okay loser. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay to be a sore loser. You know what I'm
You know
saying?
what? I'm
But I'm
fine
sure.
with
I'm
you beating
I'm
me.
sure. I'm sure. He's an okay loser. He likes to lose. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably why he said that. He's like, Dan, such a sore loser. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
When you
lord.
play like a fighting game and you're playing 1-on-1 with someone or something like that. Usually, fighting games are, and you lose the first one, and then you want the salty run
You
backs.
want the
Is that
salty
being
run
a
back?
sore
Yep.
loser? Is that being a sore loser? You just try and have to come back because you're like, yo, I think I could do this. Let's do this again, and then you do it again, and then you do it again until you win. Because we're not quitters out here. You know what I'm saying? Who's a quitter? We don't like quitting in things, and if we get salty because we lose, that's fine. But we come out of it better. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
all I'm gonna
yeah.
say.
Our next comment, basically trashed like all hell on Appmon. You have to
Yo,
be
that shit was funny.
blind to say Appmon have good designs. LMAO XD. They are fucking chibis. That disgusting shit was created as if it was a whole different thing. And since it failed so hard to engage people, we now have to deal with it in Digimon products. Those goddamn fucking Appmon.
That shit was funny as fuck, that comment. Oh my god.
To which I reply, they are, quite literally created as an offshoot of Digimon, hence the name Digimon Universe. Aptly monsters, but, to each their own. Oh boy. They retained Digimon on its name and some similarities to Digimon, so it would at least retain some of its fan base. It's easier to start a new project with some fan base than to start it from zero. Do you really think they created more than 100 designs, 2 games, its own exclusive card game, all of that separated from Digimon, and probably the most expensive animation for just 1 season? If it succeeded, we would have had much more of it and probably less of Digimon. Thankfully, it was a failure, and Bandai stopped this shit and came back to Digimon. Sadly, and since they included Digimon on its title, now we have to deal with them recycling all these stupid chibi designs and forcing them into Digimon products. To which I replied, if you don't like it, that's okay. Many people don't like Frontier in the same way. You can just ignore the parts that you don't like and enjoy the parts that you do, like everyone else does. Final comment, like off the top rope, so to say. Bro is heated over PNG. Yo,
Literal Lucas. Last time Dan was salty, he was saying Guillermo's bad cards. Literally 90% Guillermo's are bad cards. There's like 2 or 3 of them that's okay now. And what are you gonna do with a Rush Guillemon with the new egg? Like, come on, you gonna swing and die and not Evo? Like, I don't understand the point of that Guillemon. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. You gonna have another stack and then do it? Sure, all right.
Cats apps, why is the stream source 480p? Honestly,
I don't know.
I don't actually have an answer to that. This is set up. So the way that I have this set up, it's supposed to just do like its own thing. It's this thing called Twitch enhanced broadcasting. So yeah, I don't know. That's actually out of my control. Does it look bad? Like, does it legitimately look bad? Because that's kind of crazy. I see the YouTube is limited to 480p as well. I don't actually know. I'll have to check that out.
It's probably Varni's internet nowadays is just not the
Yes,
greatest.
no,
Immediately went to 480 instead of
no,
1080.
this is the VPS. This is off my computers now. We don't have any more of this. 480p in 2025 does it look bad, brother? My monitor is 2K. Yeah, but that doesn't tell me shit. Like, is it upscaling well, motherfucker? Like,
Yo, that's crazy.
But heard, let me see what I can do to fix this, because that means the past streams are streaming in 480p. It's fine, not like we're trying to watch anything that needs fidelity. I'll check that out in a second. Last comment. This was a fun episode. Love to guess. That's right. Tamer and Antics were fantastic. It was a fun ass episode.
People.
It's as fun as the first one. Spoiler: one or both may be on future podcasts. Be on the lookout.
Yeah, all for right. Sure.
Let me go figure out why the fuck this is streaming in 480p. Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da. Damn, last time Varney was this salty, Dan was playing Greymon.
Who said that one?
Lucas. Although he getting fluffy again. Time for another buzz.
Oh no, I can only see a third of the pixels on Dan's. Drake's looking to cut. Wow, that's crazy. That's
All
all.
right. Ba-da, 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 ba-da. Oh,
I haven't had a shape up. That's why it's looking like that right now. You know.
all right, chat. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. I know why it's in 480p. I'm gonna cut off stream. We'll be back very shortly. I apologize to everybody watching on both YouTube and Twitch. All right, there we go. We're back.
Yay.
Gray Knight. Hello, hello, Halo, and welcome in. I'm surprised you weren't already following. All right, it should be better now. You should have a non 480p source to choose from. You should now be able to see us in high fidelity. You should be able to see Dan's fade in all of its gloriousness.
Wow, that's crazy.
So crispy. That's right. It's Max. It's Mac Pro. ITZ. All right. I should also be recording this, but to record this, I don't actually know how to. I need to switch that. Y'all should have let me know this like fucking a week ago. Damn. This shit's been streaming at 480p for a week. That's how long this shit's been set up. All right. Anyways.
Yeah, that's wild.
What we got going on. All right. Big topics for today. Not really topics, but the first thing we talk about, we didn't have a chance to talk about before. Yeah, we got a topic. Digimon Elysion.
Elysion.
Elysion. Delicioso. To Panzer's point, I saw Panzer. Don't remember it being a 40. I wouldn't know. It was. I had to change the settings, and I wouldn't have had I would have had to change that. So I'm not sure what happened. Anyways, Panzer said Bandai needs to do a better job with marketing Digimon Elysion because you can't find the website when you Google it, which is a fact. That is a fact. Why is it not the top result when I Google it? Where is the website? Why do I have to go?
You have to click out. You have to click on a link to send you to another link for it, or something like that.
Oh, what is it?
I haven't saved on my what's it called? Like on my Google.
Somebody hot drop me the link because I don't actually know how to get to it. It's not DigimonElysion.com and it's not Digimon.com/Elysion. Therefore, it's two big L's on Bandai's part. Maybe it's DigimonElysion.net.
.com/en. I'm gonna send it to you.
.com/en. Did I spell it wrong?
I'm sending you right now.
I probably spelled it wrong, is what it is. Oh, it's fucking Digimon-Elysion. Good job. Yeah. You know, well, DigimonElysion.com is for sale. Why is this not under Bandai's control? Why do I have to go to Digimon-Elysion.com to get to Digimon Elysion? Yeah, that's definitely crazy work. Anyways, yes, Digimon Elysion. Let me get ready to share my screen again now that you guys can see this in high fidelity. So here we've got Digimon Elysion, and all right, my initial thoughts. I think number one, it's obvious. This game is clearly targeted towards a very certain type of people. And I say that in those specific words because why else would we have 3 female protagonists right off the bat, right on the cover of the page? Of course, they've got, their Digimon. We got a Renamon here. We've got Agumon, Gabumon, and then I believe this one was called Gemon. I'm not sure if it's going to be called Gemon or Gemon, depending on the
Probably
pronunciation,
Gemon.
but Gemon. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all we know. We know their names. I don't know if they have them on the page here anywhere. No, I don't know why I clicked on this Liberator link. Oh, that's cute. They have this little chibi down here. Yeah, I know they released like the names of them and stuff. Oi, 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 don't call people out like that. Same people why Close still doesn't have shoes post time skip. That's a fact. Here, let me rewind this back. Let's give this trailer a watch.
She just doesn't like shoes. That's all.
So we have Kanada Hondo, Futre, who is probably known as Future, and then Valner Dragno, so I can presume her name is. Of course, Jamon, Agumon, Gabumon, Renamon for some reason. So that's about all we know about the game for now. They released nothing else. It's right here, keywords, free to play with in-app purchases and mobile platform. I have a really big appreciation for it being a mobile game. I don't think enough people also appreciate that. Oh my goodness, there's a lot to say about it. But number one, first and foremost, is a mobile game. First and foremost, what do you have in your hand? How many people actually have computers? Not a lot. Obviously, you know, a lot of us, especially if you're American or you're in, I hate to say it this way, but if you're in a first world country, you will have a computer. But if you don't, you probably don't have a computer, or you probably have like a tablet or something, you know, and that's a really big consideration in making a game like this. Reason I say it like that, let's look at the Digimon fan games. What is it? Digimon, what is it? I think it's called Digital Monster Net Driver, and then the other one, the other big one right now is called Digital Tamers 2, I believe. Those are both, yes, you can play them on a computer. That's because the platforms they were developed on let them put it on a third world. I read Cat's Cap's comment here. I'm living in a third world country. Everyone has a PC or at least a laptop nowadays. All right. A laptop capable of running things like this. Those the two games that I just mentioned, those two fan-made games, you can play them on any Android device, but you cannot play them on an iOS device. You can play them on computer, but that of course you can do because the people developing it are developing it on a computer, and the engine that they're using, which is Game Maker for one and probably Unity for the other one. It's easy enough to make it for the computer. But knowing Bandai, this is probably going to be developed on some proprietary platform. It's not going to be developed so easily made to be both for device and I don't know if that's a third world country then. Yeah. I don't remember what I was saying after I read that fucking comment. Dan, I have a question for you. Master Duel. Did that come out on mobile first, or was it like unified when it all came out? I don't remember. I definitely know I was playing it on my phone first.
I think it came out everywhere at the same time.
Okay.
PS5, Xbox, mobile computer, I believe.
All right. Master Duel went PC on launch. Was it PC only on launch? Also, hold on, let me catch up on these chats that I'm missing. Holy shit. Oh, blah,
I
blah,
know
blah, blah.
that
Whose name is edgier than Owen's name? Where's my VR game set? Who's ready to spend
might have been
$100
mobile,
grinding?
might have been after, but I know for a fact that it was on PC, PS5, and Xbox at the same time.
Perhaps this will be the first Digimon mobile title to stay alive. I think it will be, and we'll get to that. Don't you have phones? History didn't treat that route well. I really hope they poured it to Steam. I can see a world where they might. I can't see a world where they might. Thanks to a certain thing from China 2020, PC laptop was cheap post 2020. Everybody can afford it. Are we just assuming the game is going to be PvP or is that confirmed? It's gonna. So from what it looks like, it's going to be both
It's gonna
PvE
be
and PvP.
yeah, it's gonna have its own story mode plus PvP.
Yeah. Bandai just needs to copy Master Duel, but they will probably copy Fusion World, which plus side did have physical card game integration like Pokemon, but has the worst free to play structure ever. All right. So thoughts. What I was saying before is that realistically speaking, not everybody, you can say that everybody does, but not everybody actually has PC or a laptop. They all have a computer of some sorts, but I know that in third world countries, these cost a metric fuck ton of money. Um, for example, my cousin lives in Trinidad and Tobago, which is a third world country, and for him to get a computer, he can get a basic computer, but basic computer by today's stretch the imagination is like probably like Chromebook standards, like maybe 4 gigs of RAM, 8 if you're lucky, low Intel Atom processors, if not worse, or very low tier i3 processors. You have to question whether those computers can actually run Digimon Elysion, as well as stuff like I think the better thing to look at is Master Duel. Actually, matter of fact, Dan is the perfect example. Dan, I hate to out you like this, but your laptop can't do Master Duel and OBS at the same time. You can do one or the other, but you can't do both. And yours is modern, like
Correct.
year. I would say
Correct.
yours is like what, 2022, 2021?
Something like that, yeah.
And that can't run two things at the same time. Well, of course, that's recording something and playing a game, but it can play the game fairly well, right, Dan?
Yeah, without me recording. That's why there hasn't been any mass new content from us, basically.
And I mean, so that's just like one stretch of the imagination. Like, imagine if there was a computer that was worse spec than Dan. So that's a big thing. Now, when you make it for your phone, every phone is generally speaking capable of the same exact thing, minus a few minor differences here and there. But like a phone from, let's say, like 4 years ago, I believe that's probably modern by today's standard, 3 to 4 year old phone before you actually upgrade. Um, that is capable of handling most things at most resolutions that today's type of phone can handle. So, Digimon Elysion being mobile first, I think it puts all of that into perspective. PC definitely as an afterthought. It doesn't seem like PC is a as
If
big
you
a
really
market
want to
as
play,
PC is. Good.
really want to play PC, just download like BlueStacks, download like the emulator stuff or mobile games. Just call it a day. You really want to or need to.
Yeah, for sure. Um, PC just, I mean, it'll bring in money for sure, but I don't think that it's obviously it's not Bandai's how do I put it? It's not Bandai's like star product. It's not what they're aiming for. They're obviously aiming for mobile because, well, for what it's worth, failed or not, they've had what is it? Three past Digimon games that have been shut down nation or worldwide, but then they also have three running mobile games in Korea and China cumulatively, which is why
I think
people.
there's a huge difference between like those old mobile games
Mhm,
versus what we're getting now.
mhm.
One, Dragon looks. I don't know what crack y'all smoking. Whoever thought that's a good game was not a good game. The game was not that great. That's one. Two, that was like during the dark ages of Digimon, them trying to like make things come back. It's you know what I'm saying? Like it just wasn't popping off. Then when I know they made like another one, and then Digimon Re-Arise, Digimon Re-Arise was a good game. The problem with that was, again, they wasn't hyping up Digimon really like that, and it just there wasn't anything going on to hype it around. At least with Elysion, you have the card game already, right? So people are already going to be familiarized with the card game with the game because of the card game, and this game is popping up worldwide same time as well. And it's not just by region, and then we'll get it later on, stuff like that. Um, and then cool thing about Elysion, since it's going to be a mobile game, people are going to be hyped. New players could potentially play it, which then new players could potentially join the TCG as well. So that's always a plus.
Yeah.
100% Re-Rise was definitely a predatory monetization in the sense of you had to pull the new stuff to be relevant.
eHero said Master Duel was made for the computer. The ports to every other system ran like dog shit for months. I don't doubt it if the
I don't
game
think
was made
it wasn't dog
explicitly.
shit though, because I remember because it came out with PS5 exactly the same time, and it was fine. It ran fine.
Well, regardless, if the game was made explicitly for a computer, if you're going to port it, you're inherently going to have bugs. So it doesn't surprise me that there would be bugs. That being said, what else do we have here? Games looking to launch around BT5 card pull from trailer. Question if my country's third world. Yeah, Cats, I've said it in chat, but I wouldn't necessarily call Malaysia a third world country. I don't, not in my opinion. Not to the likes of Trinidad, at least. I've seen people playing Counter-Strike in a mud hut that was flooded up to their knees. So Counter-Strike, I don't know a lot about the history of it and how it was developed or what it's based on. But what I do know is that Counter-Strike is playable on like the potatoist of computers. But it is programmed in like a very specific way that allows it to be playable on the potatoist of computers, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. It's good that you can play it on the potatoist of computers, but it means that the optimizations probably aren't the best. I remember I think I was playing Counter-Strike in the web browser when I was in high school on the computer, which should tell you all you need to know about how that game was made. Mobile is the largest market share. China's the largest market. Also, China, majority mobile market. Math does itself. Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself, Panzer. Realize predatory monetization. Yep, definitely. I'm just saying folks have access to computers and internet in the wildest of places. No, I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying you have to, like, it's just like you said, Panzer. It's about the largest market share, not necessarily, what people want, which is, yes, we want it for computer, but we're talking about a 20-year-ish old, god damn, I can't speak. 20-year-ish old game versus a newer one. Yeah, I mean, Counter-Strike is definitely old. Counter-Strike is definitely
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, when it comes to, I'm trying to find, I closed it. I don't know where it went. Whoopsie daisy. Anyways, Dan, talk some more. Trying to find what I lost.
What are we talking about?
We're still talking about Elysion.
Yeah. Excited to play. Can't wait to play. It does. Someone mentioned about the carpool. It looked like they're maybe probably starting off early game. So it looks like we saw cars in like at least BT5 for sure. Because I think we saw like Blitz Omni or something. I don't remember, or at least something in BT5. I feel like maybe it's BT6. I think
I
that's
think it was
good for the game. I think
it
it's
was
good
the
for the
Gobblebond, the BT5 or BT6 Gobblemon Bond of Friendship one.
oh maybe.
Words are hard. Good.
It being mobile does mean didn't catch these hands during the lunch. So yo, you Jesus Christ. I don't want to hear when you catch this word hands, all right? I'm not Ray. I don't hide from people, you know what I'm saying? I don't hide. I'm here. You can find me. You know who I am. What's up?
I hope they do it just
But
like
yeah,
Vanguard until BT13 on release, then release 2 to 3 sets every update.
yeah. I mean, I think the game starting from early and not like throwing the whole carpool in off rip is good for the game because it gives people who are brand new to the game and a learning experience for them. They're not getting thrown into someone is doing red purple imperial shenanigans combos on them, right? And
Yeah.
they're like, I just want to play this new this Agumon starter deck. You know what I'm saying? Like just like Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, if you're stuck in like bronze and you're first starting out and some random person hits you with a fucking Snake Eyes offer of, you don't want
Yeah.
to get stuck with that, So at least it gives that learning curve. It gives you a chance to learn the game. Everybody's at ground zero of the game being at, BT6 or whatever. And it's fair, I would say, in that sense. So like new people can learn and it's not gonna be an issue.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm
I can
excited to
definitely agree
see
with
what
that.
they do for the new cards because there's supposed to be limited cards for the game. So I think Gemmon, I would guess Gemmon is going to be a card that's going to be just strictly for the just strictly for the mobile game. So I'm
Mhm.
excited to see where they go with those type of cards too.
Yeah, I know for me starting Master Duel, I definitely appreciated the smaller sort of it was very contained. So it was easy to be like, damn, I want to jump back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Now's the perfect time because this game just came out and I did. I built and I played Drytron for I don't know. I think I basically was
A month?
playing it until yeah, until like the next like set dropped. Um so I don't know like how long that was, but it was definitely nice because it was very small and it's something that can really be appreciated. So Drytron Varney, yeah, I'm a dirty Drytron enjoyer. Herald of Ultimateness, that's my shit. Some folks were tossing
Makes
around the
sense.
idea of a
It
deck
correlates
master.
to Magna X, Ultimatus. It makes sense. It makes sense why you like Magna X so much.
There you go. The idea of a deck master style mechanic for it after seeing the experience bar on the baby, and they mentioned buddies or something similar, kind of like skill from Speed Duel. Yeah, so that's one. I think one thing. So out of everything being talked about when it comes to the game, I feel like that's the thing that's not being talked about enough. Um, Mainly because we don't have enough, information, but there's definitely some sort of gamification within it that isn't just, oh, I'm playing the card game and oh, I'm here, playing the card game for the story, which is super nice. If we can have, a Digimon game that isn't just, all right, let me come in and like do my dailies, i.e., let me like come in and like run a couple battles so I can get some stuff like, oh, you come in and you can like check on your Digimon because you have to like take care of your Digimon, or at least that's what it seems to be. I wouldn't know, what these little chibis are, but that's what I can assume they are. If maybe they're little things that you can collect. But the idea of a Digimon game that is going beyond and trying to bring in not just a Digimon card game audience, but a Digimon general audience. I don't think that can be understated.
Yeah, that definitely look like there is some type of raising mechanic as well in the game. It could be something separate though. Like the more you win games, maybe the more experience you have for them. I think someone probably mentioned it, but that'd be pretty cool.
Clean up your Digimon's
Clean
poop to earn money. Like,
crazy.
it's funny, but like legitimately, there is so much to that they can do. I mean, I've never played any of the old mobile games because unfortunately I wasn't playing Digimon at that time. So I'm sure they could utilize some of those mechanics in the current game, which is what I was talking about
Nah,
when it comes to
nah, they can't. Those totally different type of games.
I'm talking about like in the idea of like, here's a Digimon game, and you're gonna come in and because I'm sure there were gotcha games, you had to do dailies, and there's I'm sure they'll have ideas for how they do dailies. Damn, if I forget to log in, I end up with Numamon. What if it is pre-ban? Right, but like that's a cool concept, right? Like if you're raising a Digimon, like if you choose a Digimon to raise, and yeah, as you level up or as it digivolves, you get that Digimon card, or you get a random Digimon card if it has many different Digi-evolutions. I don't actually know if that's a thing, but that would be pretty cool. A
That'd be
different way
interesting.
to unlock cards outside of
That
just
would
buying
be
them.
interesting. Yeah.
Right. Like here's your partner Digimon that you choose, that you start out with. Because again, I'm looking at. Let me share this screen real quick. I'm looking at Taste of Victory's video. Um, but
But Link's TV says, gentlemen.
what's up, Brad? Yeah, this screen right here, like, what is this? 0 out
Yeah.
of 100? So level 2, right? Now, here's the problem. We know that in trainings are level 2s, but does that mean it's a level 2 in game? Can this level 2 be leveled up, or is this an actual experience bar? Is this a health bar? What is this 0 of 100? We don't know, and I'm not versed enough from Japanese. This is this says Koromon right here. I don't know what these buttons say though. unfortunately, and I don't have the time to go figure them out on the fly. But it's a cool idea. Where's the other screenshot that they had here? Right. It's the same exact screenshot. So yeah, the idea of like whatever this is, that could be a lot, you know. There's a lot that can be done with that concept. The middle
It
button
could
is
be something like,
Digivolve.
yeah,
Ooh.
it could be something like um whatever Digimon you get, that's the type of deck you gain, and then you gain more experience the more you use the deck or something like that.
Right. That could be cool. Or as you use your different Digimon partners, like as you Digivolve, as they get sent to the trash, as they whatever, they gain experience, the cards level up, they become maybe a better version of the card, or you get to upgrade the rarity. Like I don't know. There's a lot of different like monetization concepts that are cool with it, especially because they're Digimon, that you can't really get in other games, right? The entire nature of this being Digimon is something that is just so freaking awesome. Oh hell no! I end up playing Nimomon all the time because I can't take care of my Digimon.
But I mean, Cascab, you're still gonna lose because you're not good at the game.
Damn! Yeah, shots fired. Order pizza on your phone, you get APOC.
Poor APOC only gets the crust, right?
They really should have picked a different field to show us than just dirt and grass. It looks like Hearthstone or team fight tactics. It really does look like Hearthstone, like straight up. Like Hearthstone, or for me, it looks a lot like Pixelborn slash the Celestial Sim, because that it also has that same sort of generic look. But there's a lot of cool stuff that can really come out of this. And anybody who's like opposed to it, like I know some of the comments were like, "Oh, I wish we got an actual sim," or "I wish it would be up to date on release," or "I wish it would be on PC, and because of that, like this stuff is no bueno. I'm not looking forward to this," or whatever. It's like, come on, bro. This is definitely not targeted for any time 2025. This is a 2026 release. We got a year until this stuff
Probably,
comes
yeah.
out. Like, cut it some slack. You know what? I'm gonna go back to what I said on pod. What did I say on pod, Dan? I said 2025 is the year of Digimon, and Bandai will show us this year how they want to treat Digimon as a franchise. And what did Digimon Con 2025 fucking show us? That it truly is the year of Digimon.
Someone saw the video from Digi something. He's General Digimon content creator.
Oh,
But it's just
Carniacs.
no, not him, the other guy. That the
Oh,
one
the
that I
other.
sent the video. I'm talking about for chat. Like whoever saw that there's a video. I forget his name. Digi
Is this the
something.
year of Digimon? Yeah.
Yeah, is this the no the comeback era for Digimon? And I think it is. I jokingly with Varni said like in Digimon never left, but realistically, in pop culture wise, in general, yeah, right, because it's been 10 years, something like that, since we got a new game. Well, let me rephrase: 10 years since the last story game, I believe it is, right? And then 5 years, or it was after COVID. Was it after COVID we got Survive? I don't remember.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like it's been what 3 4 years, 3 years since Survive,
3 years.
something like that. But that wasn't
That sounds
that
about
was
right.
it was a good game, but
Yeah.
it's
2022. It's been 3
very
years.
it's very
By
it's
the way,
not
the
a real Digimon game that we all want. You know what I'm saying? So it's been 10 years since a real Digimon game per se, right? And so we're getting a new anime this year as well. We haven't had a new anime since Ghost Game. That's right, I believe. Yeah, Ghost Game in 2020. So that was 2020. So it was a 5 years to anime now too.
has it really?
Yeah, because Ghost Game was simultaneous ish, like with
Wow.
the
Yes, with
Adventure
the reboot.
2020. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a while since we had things, So this year we for sure got the new story game, which is super hype. Beat Break is called, yeah, Digimon Beat Break is intriguing with the mystery of no info and a vibe from the trailer. Yo, it got vibe, yo. It has more
Ghost
vibe than
Game, bro, like
fucking
Ghost
Ghost Game
Blade.
had. Because I
That's a
remember when
fact.
Ghost Game was dropping, or like the hype up for it, I was just like, eh. You know what I'm saying? Like Beat Break off red got me interested, right? So I'm super excited to see where Beat Break goes. It looks like we're gonna have brand new Digimon just off the rip with the new Tamer with a brand new Ukumon looking thing. Where the fuck that is. But those Crocs, nah, that man got the Kingdom Hearts shoes on, dog. That's what he got.
Olu,
And
what's up?
so,
And
and so
2025 was
it's
not the year for Battle Spirit Saga. Digimon
Battle
TCP
Spheres,
on the up.
yeah. And so, um, the release schedule for Digimon, the card game for this year is hype as fuck too, in my opinion. And so, I think
Bro,
we're in a good state right now, and I'm hoping whenever we get the new story game, what's the game called again? Digimon Story what?
Time Stranger.
Time Stranger, that's what it is. I hope that Time Stranger does super well in sales for what Bandai thinks is good sales for them. So we could get more games. Cyber Sleuth killed it because they broke like 10 million or something like that. I think it was worldwide 10 mil, something like that. Could be wrong. But I know it hit million at least for sure. Um, and so we gotta show Bandai we want more Digimon stuff. So we need to buy and purchase this game. You know what I'm saying? Play the shit out of it and then ask for more. You know what I'm saying? So they know, yes, Digimon is still a thing. Give us good product. We're gonna be willing to spend our money on it.
Listen, I don't think that's a doubt in Bandai's mind, real talk, because normally they relegate stuff to side sets, right? I mean, we got in terms of like main sets, I guess let's go through the concepts we had. BTs 1, 2, and 3, which you can't really attribute to anything. 4 was a sort of mix, but it focused, so to say, on like the old stuff, including or basically Frontier. 5 was like all the different iterations of Omnimon. 6 was
Well, 5 was the first like Cyber Sleuth mixed set.
right. It was a Cyber Sleuth mix set, right? Exactly. But it did feature Omnimons. 6 was a Kizuna
Yes, Panzer. I
tie-in.
think we are
7 was Double Diamond, or wait, 7 was Double Diamond, right?
correct. That's what Jesmon and the Bonds.
No, that wasn't that BT6.
Oh yeah, you're right. My fault.
Yeah,
Nah,
I'm
seven
forgetting.
seven is hybrids.
No, 7 is no 8 is hybrids. 7 is what the fuck? Oh no, you're right. I am wrong. Sorry. Take the L on that. Sorry, Dan. I'll apologize. So yes, 6 is Kizuna tie-in, 7 is hybrids, 8 is like O2 slash Ghost Game, multicolor stuff, really. And then we had EX2. So that's our first like official like full set that was dedicated to a series, which was Tamers, but it was just the EX set. BT9, obviously, that's our X antibody set. 10 was Cross Hearts. That was our first full, basically dedicated cross war set. Obviously, we had some stuff come out of it that weren't necessarily cross hearts, but that was a cross heart set. And then that for that being a cross heart set, right? That was a main set. People talk mad smack about cross heart, but it got a whole main set. Am I right? BT11 that was redigitized basically.
Correct.
BT12 was pro tag set.
Yes.
13 was Savers, 14 is the reset, but basically tying back the OG Adventure 1. We had EX3 in between those sets, which was Draconic Roar focused. EX4 was alternative being, so not really anything in particular. Same thing with Animal Coliseum.
I mean, it is
BT,
particular. It's the alternate
well, right,
version of what Digimon
like
are.
the V pets and stuff. BT15, that was just a continuation of 14. 16 then focused again on O2. EX6 angels, demons, essentially. 17 was movie set. 18, then they looped back around. Now we have 18 with hybrids. 19, that was supposed to be cross hearts, but was really a tamer set. Cross heart and tamer set.
Yeah, it was Tamer's
Um,
and Cross. Yeah.
EX7 was Liberator. EX8 was basically it's more Liberator, but also somewhat kind of VPET focused, if I remember what the original theme was. And then BT20, our latest set, which was a Chronicle set. Chronicles and other things. So now for 21 World Convergence, and 22 and 23 back to back are going to be Cyber Sleuth and Hacker Slumber. So we're getting back to back
Cyber
purely
Eden called
dedicated. Oh,
set.
sorry, Cyber Eden, right? Back to back purely dedicated Cyber Sleuth sets. EX 9 is versus monsters, focused on VPEP number 1, basically.
Correct.
EX10 is Sinister Order, which is the villain set for all of the anime villains.
Correct.
And then BT24, I think that's the one that they haven't announced yet. I don't think
No.
they've announced BT24 yet. So basically, for the pipeline for the year, we're confirmed to essentially be focusing on Cyber Sleuth. And if you're looking at sets that have released this year,
Which
the only thing that's been released is 2.5 and coming up World Convergence. And then by the time like November rolls around, it's basically you'll have gotten double header Cyber Sleuth sets.
which makes sense, right? I mean, in marketing aspect, right? We have a game that's coming out. That's a Digimon story game. And at the same time, we're having Digimon story in the card game. So it
Yep.
kind of makes sense, like story, like marketing aspect on why they're doing it this way. It makes perfect sense. I would not be surprised if we see a oh my god, what's it called again? Time what?
Time Stranger.
Time Stranger set next year. I would not be surprised
Yeah,
because
most
you want
definitely.
capitalize on that hype of the gang popping out and stuff like that. It's just like what they did with the movie set because that the BT16 set was AKA like the O2 movie set.
Yep.
When at the same time we got those promos in the movies and whatnot, so it kind of makes sense. I would not be surprised um, if the following set, or at least within the same year, or at least in 2026, we get a set dedicated on Time Stranger, and I would not be surprised in that set we finally get a Olympus 13
Olympus
deck.
12.
12, my fault, yeah. Olympus 12 deck that's Mega Zoo style for that deck or something like that. I just wouldn't be surprised.
Will we get Bacchusmon in a video game or the card game first?
Video game, that's right, confirmed.
Yeah. EX8 was 2025. Yeah, but I wasn't counting the side set, just the main set in terms of main set themes. Because we know that side sets are now relegated to more alternative um sort of themes. Because they're not afraid essentially to use main sets to basically focus on like the animes, the video games, and all the big things. And then the side sets will pretty much focus on like VPETs and side families and some, I guess, some side material if you consider like Liberator side material. But to me, Liberator's Liberator. So, which is another thing, like
Oh yeah, confirmed season 2. Super hype.
confirmed season 2.
Yeah,
I can't believe it's been a year. Holy wow!
yeah,
Like
pretty cool.
I hate that they only give us a half an episode every week.
Half a chapter, yeah,
Sorry,
half a chapter.
half a chapter every 2 weeks. I would love to consume Liberator on a weekly basis. If I still made Liberator content, I would definitely like that it releases every 2 weeks. Unfortunately, those never took off. I guess I could use these to talk about Liberator. Oh, we just got a new reveal. What do we get? Oh, it's not a new reveal. Yeah, yeah. Um,
What is it?
it's just one of the signature
Oh,
card, high
The
quality.
A's. My god,
Yeah,
those things are so beautiful though.
they
Those cards
really
are
are.
just I need all of them in my life.
With Liberator getting greenlit to continue, I wonder how much impact that has on the card set pools. Three side characters got bumped up enough to get profiles on the website now. We still have the Mr. Go from the novel art that might be Arisa's sister. Yeah. I mean, that's big, right? Like I think that's such a driving point. This isn't a trash One Piece place at all,
Yes, it
but
is. You
One
can't tell me
Piece.
otherwise.
One Piece just implemented rotation, and
Trash, dog shit. Let it die.
rotation for One Piece makes sense because how many times can you print a singular character? There are a ton of characters in One Piece, sure, but how many times can you run through that pool and then reuse characters, especially when One Piece ends? One Piece will end. It's confirmed this is in the last arc. We can expect One Piece to end in maybe the next, I want to say 3 years. I can't remember what Oda said, but One Piece will be ending. And when One Piece ends, how many times can you run through characters before you're just like, damn, it's another Luffy? Now, if you do rotation, well, okay, we're gonna rotate out this old Luffy, and now we're gonna release a new Luffy. Here's what the new Luffy does. Here's what the new support for Luffy does. It's the same concept with Pokemon. Sure, Pokemon can just create a new anime, a new series, a new video game, but they have to do that first. They have to go through the process of creating 151 new Pokemon and create a game and put 151 Pokemon in it and release the video game or release the anime for them to really have new Pokemon. They don't have the sort of flexibility that Digimon has, of being able to release new characters, new Mons. Digimon, however, we don't have that issue. It's the one reason I'm not particularly a fan of rotation for Digimon, because rotation for me, it in Digimon in particular, I know that the concept of rotation can be fine if they reprint core cards for some decks in the new rotation block. But the one thing that I like about Digimon is being able to look at this BT2 card and be like, oh man, I can use this now. Obviously, the vanillas aren't really ever going to get used because who the hell plays vanillas in today's day and age? But when you
Ice
look at
Snow.
yeah, Yogamon, sure. Until they get a new one that's better than the one cost to Digivolve. But
And it's a free cost Evo over the Penguin one, you know.
it is free cost over the Penguin. But when I take a look at Digimon's card pool and I go all the way, let's take a look at BT4. The BT4 is when we got some pretty cool cards. Let's take a look at maybe something like Zeed Garurumon and the old Digiburst. Obviously, they're not bringing Digiburst back. That much has been confirmed. But like Zeed Garurumon, when Digivolving, you Digiburst 2, you get to return a level 5 or lower to opponent's hand. All right, that's kind of trash. I take it back. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk
Damn,
about
you really went to a trash card. You couldn't pick something else that's better.
I
Like Yellow
really
War
did.
Greymon was so much
All
better.
right, perfect. Yellow War Greymon, right here. When attacking once per turn, add the top security to your hand. You may add top security of your stack to your hand. If you do, you get to unsuspend and get -6 on your opponent's one of your opponent's H1. Super cool concept. It's still a really good card, relatively speaking. It just doesn't have support that makes this card better. I remember when War Grey X came out, and people were like, "Oh my goodness, I can play red. I can play McDonald's." And that's a cool concept. I would love for a new War Grey X to come out, and it digivolves one from War Greymon, and it might be red yellow. It'd probably be red black, but it could be red yellow, and then you get to play this old BT4 War Grey or something that I have spice for, Lord Nightmon. So Lord Nightmon is a card that reads that it could be eternally good, right? Reason why, it has the all turns for each other Digimon you haven't played against 1000 DP, right? So in other words, if you play a board spam, that card is good. When attacking, you play a yellow level 3 or a yellow Digimon card with the warrior type without paying the cost, right? You want to know what's a warrior and what just came out? Greymon. A black yellow level 5 that says on play, you may play a Dorumon or Ryudomon from your hand to your empty breeding area. Whatever. Then, if during an attack, Lord Nightmon is during the attack, until the end of your opponent's turn, one of your Digimon isn't affected by your opponent's effects and gets 5,000 DP. You can use Lord Nightmon swing, play Greymon out, buff Lord Nightmon up 5k. So it's now 17k because you played out the Greymon and it's unaffected by your opponent's Digimon effects.
Hey, yo, you holding out on me?
And then it has the opponent's turn that is a completely generic inheritable. When one of your opponent's Digimon attacks, you may change the attack target to this Digimon. If you Digivolve into another Lord Nightmon, that is now a it would be a 13k, no, 12k Lord Nightmon, right? Each of the other, I think, yeah, 12 or 13, I can't remember the math. But you could also use Alphamon. You could use other generic yellow level 6s that are good, like Mitabamon. Like the the levels of play between Greymon
Go
and an
to
old ass
and then
card like Lord
and then you
Nightmon.
take that Lord Nightmon, go into Lord Nightmon X, and then play more bodies.
Lord
Right? I
Nightmon
think that's what it does.
X. Something
I don't remember what it does right now.
you can most certainly play. It's when Digivolving, get to de-Digivolve for each of your Digimon.
Ah, that's
Uh,
what it is.
and then until the end of their turn, one of their things can't Digivolve. More importantly, all your Lord Nightmon, all your Nightmon text Digimon gain alliance and 3k DP. So if you have X antibody in that stack, you swing the Lord Nightmon, you play out
Go into room mode.
the Grademon, then you can go into Lord
Ah,
Nightmon off of X antibody, gain alliance, use the Grademon to swing with alliance, unaffected by Digimon effects. You get to de-Digivolve an opposing stack, prevent them from Digivolving, and then yes, you're purple black, so you have access to Ruin Mode, Quartzmon, Dexmon. Now, those are the three big level 7s that I think of. But that
chat, are
would
we
be
cooking? Are we
you're right.
cooking, chat?
Right. Are we cooking? Like this stuff wouldn't be possible if rotation was a thing, because Lord Nightmon is probably a card that wouldn't be rotated into the new format. Now, of course, you would then have some sort of eternal format and your rotation format. But when your regional plays using the rotation format, it's like, eh, you know, rotation is
Yeah,
purely
fuck
to
rotation.
stymie power creep, which we do need to an extent, but it's a bit far too gone to implement. Give Lord Knight 5k and immunity, go into ruin mode. Exactly. If you gain alliance mid swing, does it not miss timing? No, alliance is passive. Alliance is not a when attacking. It's why you can do
Fenrir
um
shenanigans.
right. It's exactly why you can do Fenrir shenanigans, because it, even though it's always present, if you don't have a Digimon, you would think that you would miss timing. But no, it's why you can go into Fenrir, play out all your Digimon, then you can use Alliance to suspend your Digimon and do your thing. The moment that Alliance comes into play, you can use it as long as it's on that body that you're attacking with. It's not a when attacking. It is just a byproduct of being during the attack. So Lord Nightmon, BT5. I think that card is so good, and it just needs more like yellow support. Now, Bandai has shown that they can, if they want to, release support for some old ass deck, or they could entirely retrain it. They did that with Lord Nightmon. They retrained it into purple. But who's to say that they don't just wake up one day and be like, you know what? Here's a bone. Here's something that makes this yellow Lord Nightmon playable, or that
Hey,
makes
yo,
this
that
yellow
that
Wargrave
new
playable.
cyber sleuth, when we're gonna have a warper tamer into Lord Nightmon, I'm just saying that could be the way to go.
That's what I'm saying. But Fenrir has alliance before the swing. The mons come out after. Right, but that doesn't. So let me read you the keyword of alliance. I need the actual. I need the original reading. Let me look up a Lopmon. Lopmon,
Aliens.
Lopmon, Lopmon, Lopmon. Do they not actually have the wording? Ah, here we go. I read Alliance is about to not go the way you think. All right, sure. When is Digimon attacks by suspending one of your other Digimon? This Digimon adds the suspended Digimon's DP and Sec +1 for the attack. Dan, no, because I need to go look at the I need to look at Lord Knight matches. But I would assume that, because I can't speak without knowing. But I would assume that the combos that they used to use with Lord Nightmon is X antibody, Lord Knight into Lord Knight X during the attack. And then you gain alliance during the attack, and then you can swing. But yes, when this Digimon attacks would be the nail in the coffin, so to say. So I'll concede on it for now, and we'll come back to it later when in Discord when I look at some previous matches. Anyways, I don't like rotation. I'm not a fan of it. Not for Digimon, at least. There's too many things that Digimon can do. Oh well, the other line is sick. It is. I mean, the plays are endless, and so I'm just like rotation. One Piece, it works. They've got 10. They already have like at least like 15 different Luffy's for sure across leaders and card
Boring.
characters. And sure, like we have so many different Agumons, right? I mean, I probably can't count all the different Agumons we have, but we have an Agumon in basically every color. Yeah, we have an Agumon in every color now. So I guess except white. Is there a blue Agumon? There's not a blue Agumon. It's a snow
Yeah,
Agumon.
Snow Agumon. He's Snow
It's not.
Agumon.
It's not a named Agumon though.
Purple there isn't one. That's the fake expert Agumon.
No, no, no. Purple now has the Tyrannomon Agumon. What would be black Agumon if they ever named it
Oh,
that?
is the green purple one, right?
Yeah. Oh, look, the max rating Lord Knight has 5 listings at 100. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Plus, we've had way too many. We've had too many reprints of all the cards from old sets to see that C play. So rotation wouldn't do much. Yeah, I don't think rotation is good in any game that wasn't initially designed for it. Yeah, I will agree with that.
That's a fact.
I will agree with that first and foremost. Like Pokemon, it works extremely well for. Pokemon is a game that is like super easy to jump into and super easy to play because of rotation, and it works for them. But rotation, and something I mentioned, I don't remember where I mentioned it, but rotation, might have said this on pod, but rotation, is, in my opinion, kills Digimon because now you're telling me that cards are going to rotate out of the format. And the only reason that cards are even expensive to begin with isn't because they're collector value, unless they're like super high up their cards, like the world cards, national cards, the current serial cards. Magna X is the perfect example. That regular art was what, $100?
Yo, Magna X went to $100. No, it's
His
just
regular
crazy.
art is fucking $100 for some fucking reason. And the alternate art is 105. But those cards are not $100 because they're collector cards. They're $100 because people play the cards. And if we go to rotation and they say your Magna X is rotating out, those card prices plummet. And then people say, damn, do I really want to play this game when these cards that I've paid so much for are just going to drop in value? Like the talk about the financial side of it is a really big conversation to have. Pokemon survives because it has a collector scene, but Digimon doesn't have that strong a collector scene.
Correct. There's like 5 people.
Technically, Magic didn't start with rotation, and for almost 20 years it worked really well. But then they started printing sets of cards bust enough to push sales for modern and commander players and had to start banning standard cards left and right. Rotation is also used as an excuse for broken cards being broken. Oh, it's okay. They'll rotate out. Yeah. The fuck for 100 for Magna X. I know people were making it around the card, but still, yeah. Yeah. That was my reaction when I saw it. The signed art cards don't have rarity stamps. Really? Oh, you talking about like the new ones that are coming out in 21? I forget what they're called. Um, like the Lanamon and stuff, they don't have a rarity stamp. Interesting. Well, I'm not building Magna X. Is it? I could, but is it really worth it? Yeah, exactly. Lanamon. Lanamon. Interesting. Yeah, they just say it's a common. I wonder what that means their pull is going to be.
I think they're in a separate pack, aren't they?
I don't
Are
know.
they in? I thought they were separate packs.
I hope so. Makes it better for me because I want one of every art. I'd prefer for those to not be expensive. But rotation, eh. like we said with Mario,
Uh,
keep it out of my Digimon card game.
we don't want it here. Get out of here. Trash.
I was listening to the Reprint podcast and couldn't help bust out laughing when Mike went. Yo, Nighthawk. Nighthawk said, I'm gonna send this shit to Mike too. I was listening to the Reprint podcast and I couldn't help bust out laughing when Mike went, I would never play a game with rotation.
The irony of that, it's fantastic.
I'm just
You wanna
sending
know
this
who's
to
even
him
more
right
ironic?
now.
It was even more ironic. Was that on YouTube?
Yeah.
Now, how the irony of that is that after One Piece announced their rotation, my man Mike was full send on, yo, rotation is great for everything. I'm just like, ain't no way you did this. Ain't
I
no way
remember
you flipped the script on us. I was like, yo, there's no way you fucking flipped the script on us when you were talking hella shit about rotation.
I remember
That
you
shit
asked
was
me the
crazy.
question, and I was like, no, I don't remember him saying. Like, I felt like I might have remembered him saying that, but I was like, no, it was probably something different. Well, Nighthawk caught it in full 1080 HD, high quality ass sound.
Yo, that shit was so fucking funny. Confirm Beats 21 had an illustrator pack,
Oh,
LO
thank
pack,
God.
regular box topper pack. Yep.
Oh, thank God. All right, perfect. Oh, we're gonna be able to get all those new arts. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah. Oh my god, that shit was so fucking funny because this man was like full send on why rotation is great, yada yada yada. And I'm just like, huh. Okay.
Let me see
Interesting.
if I could find the conversation we had on rotation. Not to put Mike
Oh
on
my god.
blast, but I'm gonna put Mike on blast.
Put a mic on blast. I mean, just search rotation. I'm sure you'll find it.
Yeah, I'm finding it now. Wow, we had a lot of conversation that day about it.
Yeah, we did.
All right, here we go. Um, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm reading verbatim what Mike said. I'm not gonna lie. I think they're going to bring rotation to Digimon during Digimon Con. And then I would imagine Gundam is going to launch with rotation. There's no point, or Dan said, yeah, whatever.
Hey, you're not gonna say what I said.
It doesn't matter, but there's no point with them doing a restricted list if that was the case. I feel like, unless you mean next year, which was
Oh, okay.
clarified later.
Mhm.
Let's see. And there will be a list of cards that are allowed to always be played through rotation, it seems like. So, for example, if a deck comes out that needs a new searcher, that searcher can get a reprint. I think they're going to do it for all games moving forward now, so they don't have to deal with Dragon Ball Masters issues again. 9 times out of 10, I feel like I'm reading Bandai's reasons for restrictions, and it's this card impedes how we create new cards. This card makes it harder to design other decks. This interaction is not working the way we intended, etc. Regular rotation allows them to get around a lot of these issues. For example, in Magic, we will get a lot of the cards that essentially do the same exact thing, except one piece is tweaked ever so slightly to make it work better in standard. Digimon can try to do this, but if there's no rotation now, you have multiple cards that are broken being played in the same formats. Honestly, I think it's the best for the game longevity wise for Digimon, as long as they do it right. And that's the part that scares me. I have no faith in Bandai handling rotation or extended formats properly. Um, Dan said the game doesn't need to be saved, air quote, with rotation. Literally doing a ban list every 6 months or whatever to keep things in check will be fine. Like I said, I don't know, brother. That's how games like get like Masters and Yu-Gi-Oh get to the state that they're at. That's the argument everyone always uses. Rotation and a ban list really helps them create better and healthier metas. If they keep updating ban list and no rotations, they have to keep the accelerated pace the game is heading towards. Dan said Yugi's been around 20 plus years and still has a huge presence, whether we like the current game or not, with just the ban list. Mike said, yeah, and a lot of people hate it and are quitting. Digimon never had Yu Gi Oh numbers to begin with, so they're trying to solve it before it gets to that point. Dan said, but I don't know. I believe all their TCGs are under different departments. So maybe the One Piece side feels they need a rotation. I don't know about One Piece blocks, but I thought they confirmed the blocks for Digimon were the year the cards dropped. No, it's like it is, but it doesn't correlate to the exact year, I don't think. I can't remember
Yeah,
exactly.
it comes out. It comes out like their year, their
Yeah.
physical year.
Yeah, yeah.
The first set of cards don't have them because that was year 0. That's why.
Right. Oh, you could have had block
Uh,
0, 0.
for the record, the chat was great. E here says, "Doesn't Mike live like 80% of his life on blast?" Question mark. Panzer, Mike more blasted than a goldfish cracker. You know, I just realized. We haven't heard much from Mike about Digimon since him being wrong about DigiCon. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I just
It's because
thrown out there. You know what
it's
I'm
because we kicked them off the podcast. That's why.
saying?
Also, I want to take this time. I didn't want to talk about this with Mike because he got me so irritated. Somebody ever get you irritated to the point that you just like you feel like you start like fuming like a train, and like you
It's
just
like
want
the
like.
cartoons where you got the smoke coming out your ears.
So I made a
Wait,
post
what were
on
we
the
talking about?
So I
Go
made a
ahead.
post on
Sorry,
the
I want to see
Facebook
what you're talking
group
about.
maybe like a few months ago. I don't remember exactly how long ago. And I said, I took a screenshot of it.
Is it the
November
One Piece
19th.
card? The
Yeah,
One Piece
so
card?
I posted a picture of Gold Roger, and I had said at the time, yes, this is a Digimon group, but when y'all talk about power creep, you can't tell me Digimon is worse than One Piece. I mean, One Piece had 10 drop Big Mom for well over a year, and we just got the equivalent in Lucimon that requires much more to make it work effectively. So to all the Digimon is dying, power creep will be the death of the game, etc. Haters, hush up, the negativity is not needed. Game is in a fine place, all things considered. I used Goldie Roger as my example card because it has Rush and the ability when your opponent activates blocker, if you or your opponent has 0 life cards, you win the game. I used that card as the example because when I read that card in the moment, I was like, wow, like that's kind of a crazy effect. I could have definitely used a better example, and there were better examples to use, but my line of reasoning remains true that, I mean, they had to implement rotation to combat both power creep, but also introducing new cards. When I said that shit to Mike, this motherfucker, it's as if I was standing there, like face to face, and like I said it, and he looked me in the eyes. He looked me in my digital eyes and said, "It was a bad take. It's okay." And I said, "And now One Piece has rotation, so hold my dick." And he said, "Why does that matter? That card isn't being rotated out until like 3 years, as far as we know." And I said, "We've literally gone over this. Like we discussed this. Why the Gold Roger was a bad card to use as the example, but you understood my reasoning." And he said, "Yes, and it was a bad take because you don't understand One Piece properly."
Oh my god.
I wanted to like I wanted to reach the fucking phone, grab his fucking collar, fucking yank him because that shit like irritated the fuck out of me. Because we've had that conversation about why that particular example wasn't the best. Um, but why? Like he understood where I was coming from, and now One Piece has rotation. So my point stands. Fuck you, Mike. All right. Nighthawk said, meh, Digimon soft rotates with design creep. Nothing would change. They'd just reprint old cards that they intend to work with new support like BT7 Koichi. Yeah. And I like that better. I think that's a lot more
Oh,
versatile.
oh man, that's great. Damn, Varni, tell us how you really feel. Yeah, right.
For what it's worth, we have had me and my good friend Mark, it's Dan's good friend too. We have had many discussions, all the 4 of us, me, Dan, Mike, and Mark. We've had many discussions on the state of One Piece before One Piece implemented rotation. We have talked about One Piece. Dan doesn't know anything about One Piece, so he more listens. But me, Mike, and Mark have talked about One Piece and where the game was heading and how we didn't know how the game was going to handle power creep. I've said that many times on pod. We have said that many times in private conversation. So for this motherfucker to come out and tell me that I don't understand the fucking game of One Piece, anyways, anyways.
Ah. Lucas, if you're talking about you want to talk about seeing salt, that there right there is legit true salt right there. You know what I'm saying?
Friends, am I right?
Anyways, damn, Varney, tell us how you put the hat on next time, Varney. Damn, that's rude. But anyways, yeah. And you know what really frustrates me the most about those conversations we have is the state of Digimon when they barely even play the goddamn game and they telling me how it's gonna die this year. Wrong. Oh, the Luffy hat. I thought you were talking about something else. Wrong. Wrong. Because the game is not dying. Bandai is not gonna kill the game off because it's whatever the bad sales they think it is. It is wrong to think that. It is, you know, the year of Digimon 2025. They can go kick rocks for those comments because I know for a fact um they're just wrong on that, you know what I'm saying?
Mind me, I'm starting the next round.
Gotcha. How's that rude? I don't know. Damn, finds hats rude. Noted. I don't know. I don't even know where you were trying to go with it. That's why I was just wondering. I was like, oh, that was rude. Like, I don't fucking know. Why are you trying to tell him to find a hat for? Oh my god. People have been saying Yu-Gi-Oh was going to die every year for the last 25 years. And look at Yu-Gi-Oh. You know what's crazy? You know what's the craziest thing about Yu-Gi-Oh though? E-Hero, since you mentioned that comment. Guess how many rounds Las Vegas had their 3v3 tournament? 10 rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh. Do you know how many players you need to have for 10 rounds? Consistently, that's 10 rounds for them. That's the crazy part.
DEX11, SpongeBob collab. Don't speak that evil into existence. Listen, that SpongeBob collab is exactly what makes me want to play Magic. No lie.
Like, even though Yu-Gi-Oh wasn't a down year or so, but they still popping up, 10, 11, 12 round tournaments every single regional, every single YCS. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'll take Yu-Gi-Oh's dying if you're doing those type of numbers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh's dying. All right, cool. 10 rounds. What is that minimum, Varney? What's 10 rounds normally?
So
Is that 1,000?
10 rounds in Digimon would equate to at least 1,000 players, yeah, because we go generally 8 rounds, 7 to 8 rounds, depending on player count, and that's for anywhere
That's
from like 250 to
256 to
500.
50. Yeah, that's 256 to
So
512, right?
we would hit 8 rounds for sure at like the 500, like above like 384 cap. So yeah, that's at least like 800 players.
Hey, chat. So, Varney said, the comment Nighthawk said, Mike's out April 2026. I'm out, bitches. He's coming back to Digimon next year. Yeah, I'm dead right now.
Nighthawk said Japan sales are a bit weak, international is stronger. Yeah, and I'm sure that the trading card game market in Japan is already like a wonky one because I know they have, I mean, for fuck's sake, they're competing against duel masters. Like the fact that they're still competing
That's
against duel
their go to
masters,
game. That's
right?
their go to
And
game over
they
there.
got magic in their language. Like I'm sure that market is definitely a very cutthroat one. It's crazy that Yu-Gi-Oh turnout has hardly dropped for as much complaining as there is.
Yeah, facts.
So that brings up a good point about like we were talking about this in Discord the other day because I can't remember how it came up, but we were talking about like playing different card games. Oh, Illustrals. We were talking about Illustrals. Someone was asking like what the state of Illustrals was in our area, and realistically, if there we don't have one because Dan and I haven't started one. We could if we wanted to, but as you can see,
I don't know what you trying to show it. You trying to show your Gundam?
yeah, the Gundam
The
models in
Gundam?
the back there. If it wasn't for Gundam, I definitely would have tried to start Illustrals at the shop. But once Bandai announced Gundam, I was like, well, I only want to play Digimon. and I only want to play Gundam.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there is no time for me to play any other card game. Realistically, most people can only handle 2 card games. Anybody that does more, like, card games is their
Crackheads.
entire life. Right.
Crackheads.
I can barely handle
Varni,
2.
crackhead.
I no, I handle 1, Digimon,
No, now you might
and
handle
I
one.
dabble
Alright,
in all the
whatever.
other ones to the best of my ability, but realistically, I can't do them because I have a family. I have a family life. Um, Now, Illustrals is fantastic. I really do like the game,
I enjoy
but
the game.
over
We just don't have time to
Gundam,
play.
I would prefer to play Gundam. So the topic that came up in our chat, in our Big East chat the other day is players what does a player being fed up of a game really mean when it comes to leaving that game? Yu-Gi-Oh was the example that was used because people get fed up of Yu-Gi-Oh and they leave Yu-Gi-Oh. But do they really leave Yu-Gi-Oh? Or are they like Dan, where they get fed up of Yu-Gi-Oh, they'll never go back to playing Yu-Gi-Oh. But then, in a couple months, something changes and they end up going back to playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm not saying
See,
that Dan
wait,
ever
wait.
played.
Can I clarify that part real quick?
Go
Me
ahead.
personally, I have never said never when it comes to playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Right? Just because I know how I am. And it's true because like I may not play the physical card game, but I play Master Duel pretty heavy. So that's my Yu-Gi-Oh! That's me playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And I support it by occasionally paying for things and stuff. Um and stuff. So, I still play the game. Like I can't say I don't play. I just play it, digitally. That's all.
Yeah, and so that's the big thing. Like, I'm sure a lot of players are the same way. I Nighthawk, I agree. It's Illustrious Clash or bust that me for me at this point. I still buy some of the physical cards just because I like to have the physical cards. I like to support the game. I love the idea that they're doing Illustrious Clash because a fucking digital sim is worth its weight in gold in this day and age for any card game trying to, push its way into the market. That's why I think Digimon Elysion is big, very big for Digimon, for being able to get a casual audience on, for being able to satisfy players who were maybe like, I don't want to play like the current meta, or I want to have more fun than I want to like focus on like uber meta competitive, not enough budget to max already buy decks. You'll only play once for 3 card games. Lightspeed. I'll have you know, I haven't bought any Illustrals cards, okay? I haven't bought any Grand Archive card. Grand Archive would be the one that takes my money. Let's get that straight. The Grand Archive alternate arts, they're fire. I haven't spent my money. I only play with what I pull. So, the only game that I go ham for is Digimon and what will soon be Gundam. There was a whole thing a while back where Konami was trying to figure out how to convert Master Duel players to physical customers. So Master Duel, I feel like they put themselves in a bit of a spot though, right? Because
Oh yeah, they did.
Master Duel, like the people who enjoy playing Master Duel, they enjoy first of all, it's a different format. It's a best of 1 format for what it's worth. Obviously, you can get together, put a tournament together, and play best of 3 with side decks, so to say. But it's a best of 1 separate format with a entire not maybe not entirely different, but Dan, how different is the card pool?
For the most part, is about a year behind until now. A lot of the other cards, so it's weird. So the set that just dropped in, I think I would say worldwide, at least the TCG wise, was the new set of the Blue Eye support. Not Blue Eye support. Let's rephrase. The set came out with the XYZ Dragon Cannon stuff, the Tachyon stuff, and something else. And in Master Duel, the starter decks came out too. The starter decks are separate from for Blue Eyes. But in Master Duel, they made a whole set where it's all that just new. They just dropped the Blue Eye support. They just dropped all that Tachyon support, the XYZ support, which is kind of crazy because they've been behind for the last year or so. So it is kind of different. They have their own mixed ban list as well because it's a mix of TCG and OCG, which isn't too
Right,
bad.
it's essentially their
Um,
own meta. Like Master Duel
right.
is its
It's
own
exactly.
meta.
Exactly. So here's the thing. I think originally Master Duel was helping bring more eyes back to TCG But the problem is sometimes it's just way easier to play Master Duel than is in real life because you don't have to like know the effects and stuff, right? You just click buttons and you call it a day. The math, like a lot of chain ruling and all that stuff is so complicated to figure out in real life when the game does it for you. And you just click, do I want to do this? Yes or no. And you just move on. You know what I'm saying? So I think
Yep.
that's what the issue is for Yu-Gi-Oh! Just the complexity of the game, right? Because I think Mike mentioned in the chat one time, you were like, I would rather just play Master Duel because people cheat in real life. Oh yeah, some of it is intentional probably, but some of it is not intentional just because like people don't know effects. And it's hard to go, call judge in today's world when there's so much complicated things. And especially if you're not in like a regional setting where you maybe not be able to get a real judge that can tell you how these rulings work. Cause one combo changes everything in Yu-Gi-Oh! Which is the most crazy shit ever, but it is what it is. So it is hard for that. And it's also because there's Master Duel, why do webcams too? Right? Like if you're gonna make content, like if you see
Yep.
like a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh content creators right now, they barely even use physical cards unless they're meant to be just a TCG, channel, but they're just general Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. They're playing Master Duel. They might like crack packs to use like to play their games and like their little tournaments, but they're using Master Duel to use the game because like why? It's easier for everybody. If I have, me and Mike want to play a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Hey, we can on Master Duel. Mike's in Virginia. I'm here. We can play Master Duel, and we don't even have to like, we know what the effects are, but we don't need to go. Oh, I don't know how this chain resolves. I guess we'll guess it out. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
we don't have to do that. You just Master Duel and call it a day, which is pretty cool, and it's easier that way. And the one thing Konami has over Bandai, they have 20 plus years of doing their game correct.
Of
You know what I'm
games, right?
saying?
Exactly.
And so like for them, it wasn't hard for them to get the game set up going. They didn't have bugs with effects. They didn't have any of this, any of that. What their thing about Master Duel was the presentation of it, because Master Duel presentation is next level shit compared to any other game they had. So that was like their thing when it came to Master Duel, which is pretty cool. And obviously the hardest part is cross platform when it came to Master Duel. But besides that, the game was perfect.
Yeah, for agree with all of that. eHero says, no one enjoys playing Master Duel. You're just trying to make other people more miserable than you.
Yeah, you're right. I'm trying to spiral combo someone to death and watch them quit because my combo has lasted the whole 300 seconds. All right. Yo, this it's the funniest thing when you're playing online. And let's say I have the perfect spiral combo, and even they try to like ash it or imperm me or something, and I'm still comboing. People will quit just because they know the combo takes fucking forever to complete, and then there's just this giant ass board, and you can't do anything about it because I got Nightmare Griffin on board that says all your special summon monsters that aren't linked can't activate effects. Then I got utility wire, I got imperms, I got call buys, I got ashes in hand. You know what I'm saying? I have Spiral Resort that lets my spiral monsters not be targeted, so your effects can't target me. I have destruction protection with Nightmare Phoenix. I got battle protection from Cerberus. It's great. It's a great time. It's fantastic when the comic pops off. But Fiendsmith is on some other shit though. Fiendsmith is wild.
Since Varney mentioned it, Grand Archive is Country Club TCG, ludicrously high barrier of entry for a niche game and incredibly cutthroat, where you can't just compete as a budget player. Yeah, you
E-Hero, don't
definitely.
hate. Don't hate E-Hero. Don't hate.
So yeah, in Grand Archive, you definitely need. Yeah, that's tough. Because I agree. Cars like Dungeon Guide. Um, I believe at the time that they had just gotten a reprint when I had gotten into it back then, they were still maybe like $15-$20 cards. So anywhere between 60 to 80 for a playset, and you do need to play that in every deck, but then it also depends on like what deck you play. I know the Sylvie and Tristan recollection decks really helped with that barrier to entry. I don't know what the new recollection decks are like. I have, as I'm talking about that, I have to pay for mine so I can get them shipped. Um, but I would assume that they're on the same level. So definitely, it still has some work to do in terms of like competitive play and being more accessible. But at the bare minimum, I'll cut them some slack because I like the way that they like present themselves and the things that they try to do for that casual crowd.
Nobody can call a judge for an am I smelly check on the internet. Yo, that's like, yo, speaking of smelly, Varney, I kid you not. Last Sunday, I don't know who the hell it was, but there was like mad Pokemon players there. And is I don't know. I think I knew who it is. I just don't know who he is in general. Like I think he's the one that was, bro. When I tell you, I thought I was gonna throw up on like Gino because the person smells so fucking bad. I was just like, yo, I might just throw up on my cards, and it's understandable because why the fuck is there someone in this damn building so goddamn smelly that he walks by and the whiff of his smell lasted for 10 minutes. I was just like, this whole time, yo, I told Gino, I was like, Gino, I am so sorry if I am, if I'm like this the whole time. I promise you, it's not you. I kid you not. I was just like, the whole time, I was just like, I need to smell my hoodie because I need oxygen. I need oxygen for my own hoodie because it smells so goddamn bad. Like, yo, take a shower, brush your teeth, put on some deodorant, do something. Why the hell are you walking around smelling that nasty for? Like, it was disgusting. Like, I've said, certain people that I'm gonna keep nameless at the moment, their breath be kicking, but like at least it's their breath and they don't just generally smell. You know what I'm saying? Like, my God, I was like, this is so bad. Like, and then you had people talking about that's funny. Anyways, like, and no one says anything to this person. Like, boss. The boss man's in there, bro. Say something to someone. Like, damn, kick them out. Do something. Jesus Christ, it's crazy. Anyways, continue.
Okay, so I'm looking at the price of some cards for Grand Archive, and holy shit. Um, they definitely have gone through a growth spurt. And I can say that because back when I started, so Ghost of Pendragon, which I have some copies chilling right here. This, when I pulled this card, was like, I don't know, maybe like 15-20 bucks. This is a Alter Edition SR, Alter Edition. This shit is fucking $52 right now. When I pulled this card, okay, so not 15, that was wrong, but it was 30, and it's 50 now. It's had 3 printings. It had printings in the first edition, it had printings in the Alter Edition, which is basically their reprint after the first edition, and then a printing in the Kickstarter Prelude kit, essentially. So it's 52 for the Alter Edition and 80 bucks for the fucking first edition and the Prelude. Holy shit. And that card, I mean, it's expensive because it gets played. I don't remember what decks it gets played in. But on answer, you may return a regalia you control to its owner's material deck, which is busted. Because you can target any regalia if you do draw 2 cards, which is obviously really good. So it makes sense why that's expensive. Crux, is that a Lorraine card? I don't know. Holy shit. That's insane. Dungeon Guide, a 4 of staple that most decks are playing at 4 is also still expensive. It's had 5 printings so far. Printing in the Prelude Kickstarter kit, first edition and Alter Edition of first set, as well as Mortal Ambition, and it's $20 base. So yeah, definitely. I didn't realize even Grand Crusader's Ring, which is the ultra rare that you play in your Regalia deck, you only play 1 of it, so you only need 1, but it's still a $70 card. So if you're putting that together with the dungeon guides, that's $150 on 5 cards. Yeah, that definitely does make it tough, especially for competitive play where you need to have your dungeon guides, and you should have some sort of regalia like a Grand Crusader's Ring. Um, that's all right. I agree that that barrier is definitely high. I know their problem with balancing that card price is probably their mid ground of how do we not, print this card into the ground to decrease the value for all the players who are holding the cards, to make them want to continue to buy product in the future. But then how do we also make it accessible to new players? And I don't know, a card like Grand Crusader's Ring, I don't know, I don't know, it's tough. That's only had 1 printing, which is an Ultra Edition and the first edition. I'd probably just I don't know. We've talked about it on pod, especially on that reprint pod, and like how Yu-Gi-Oh does reprints, and I know they do them like essentially like
Hey,
sometimes like
look,
late,
expensive card.
expensive card. You want to see expensive card? Hold on, expensiver card.
Hey,
This
I won mine.
this is probably going to go up in price as soon as it focuses. Probably going to go up in prices as the fucking regular and alternate arts get bought out. But yeah, I know reprints are tough for every card game, but like, fuck, I didn't
It's not
realize
that
the
difficult.
prices were that bad right now. Well, like, so like, all right, let me ask you this then. Like, how would you do reprints if you were Bandai?
They're doing a pretty good job with it right now.
Are they though?
I really, it's hard to say. Um, I would go a reprint set once a year, maybe.
I like that. I definitely like that. I wish we had like a full blow. Well, all right, let me rephrase. I all right, you know what? Scratch that thought. Those LM packs, LM6 billion bullet would be great if we weren't getting a reprint like fucking Deathclaw, and if we got a reprint like Cherubi Ace in it instead.
We're getting a reprint of release, just in a fancier way. Just spend $200.
You can't anymore. They're bought out.
Hey, yo, sucks to suck if you didn't buy them. Let me stop. All jokes aside, I think the LM sets aren't that bad. I think
They're great. They choose
they
better
choose they
cards.
choose they have this weird ass like they choose really good ones and then they choose really bad ones, right? Because in
It
that
feels
same
like they
set,
choose
you
pack
say that,
filler,
right?
right?
Yeah, you say that. You mentioned the Death Claw, right? All jokes aside. So you mentioned the Death Claw, but the other half of that set has promos. Flame
Yes.
Dramon. That's an expensive ass promo. You have Destramon. Obviously, it's not that expensive, but I mean, that's hype for Galactic coming out
Galactic.
soon. They have the other promos in that, so it's not bad at all. But then they had these weird ass,
Pack
again,
fillers.
you kind of need it though. You can't just go, hey, we're gonna have represent. It's all super rares. You just can't do
No,
that,
right.
really.
I don't disagree. We don't need to
Because
include all
Yu-Gi-Oh!
super rares,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
but
Tins has like every card of that year, whatever it is, when they do the tins, and then they have your guaranteed secret ultras and super rares. We need to go back to 2 promos per box like BT9 had. We buy double the size box at double the price, same amount. Yeah, I agree on that for sure. Um, I don't know.
all right. All
If
right, I
if
got it. I
if,
got it. I
if
got it.
LMs are going to be a freaking thing, I don't think it's that bad the way they do reprint sets. Then
I got it. I got it. I agree. But let's take a look at a good card. Rena. Why is Rena still $35? Obviously, we know why. She shouldn't be. She should have a reprint. Ruin Mode got a reprint, and that was from around the same time. Death Xmon got what, three
three reprint
reprints? Event pack, and then LM set, and then
now the
this
shiny,
box.
yeah.
So three reprints. Venusmon, who is irrelevant to all hell, is officially going to have 1, 2, 3 reprints.
I hate that stank ass. Keeps getting a damn premium Bandai spot. Like, just we don't care about her. Like, leave. Like, go away.
I love Venusmon, but I would have preferred any other card over a third reprint for her when uh, the regional participant stamp is $4. That's fine enough. I would have preferred to see Rena take that slaughter. If we're gonna look at waifu Digimon, I don't know. Give me another waifu Digimon, Dan.
Angewomon,
Mastamon. On no, we'll take a look at Mastamon. Base rarity
same shit.
18, alternate art 33. She could have gotten an alternate art, and I would have been okay
Wait,
with it.
which one?
Mastamon,
The
the ace.
EX7 one?
Yeah, the ace. Like she could have
EX6.
went in that spot and that would have been fine. Like why?
I
Like
agree.
some of these some of the choices are just like, come on, man, come on. Like I'm good for you got me 75% of the way. Help me with the other 25%.
Yeah,
Cut
because
this
Venus Mon
stupid.
has a lot of reprints, a lot of different arts now. She has her obviously her regular art, her regular AA, but then
Yep.
she has what the
The
regional
regional.
participant final stamp, champion stamp version. She has um the heroine set,
Yeah.
and now she has the black and gold one. Like, why does she need
Yes.
all those different printings for a card that's $2 probably?
Yeah, exactly. And Bloom Lordmon, for what it's worth, is only a $2 SR. And sure, it's a $30 alt,
Yeah,
but it didn't like I'll appreciate it getting a second alt printing because it doesn't have one. So I can look past it. Jesmon GX, I like that reprint because base art for Jesmon GX is 24 and alternate art is 44. And of course, I recognize we're talking about a $200 box here, but it's getting printed again, which is a good thing that it's getting printed again. But Venusmon, really? Or in the
yeah.
case of Billion Bullet, you chose those cards like Deathclaw and Gospel of the Fallen Angel. Come on, that's such a that was like low hanging fruit if there ever was low hanging fruit, right? Lucimon Chaos Mode EX6 currently sitting at 24 base, 55 all. You could have given us Lucimon Chaos Mode. They reprinted All Force from BT11. All Force is cheap as fuck. All Force is currently a $2 SR and a $12 alt. Beelzemon is the same thing. We didn't need those cards. There were definitely better options to make a more accessible, better reprint for your player base. Mother D Reaper cosplaying as Venusmon in the premium set instead. Dan might remember the packaging for Japanese starter X 1 to 3. What about
Okay.
the packaging?
Yeah, what about him?
Also, I want one rare or higher per pack and over twice as many rare plus per set compared to Digimon 40 and Digimon versus 97 from Grand Archive. Yeah, I didn't realize it was that bad, Nighthawk. I thought it was a little bit better, but yeah, those pull rates are kind of bonkers. So I'll agree on that Country Club TCG comment. I would love to play the game more. It's on a Saturday. My Saturdays are typically family days. But I really do want to get to play a game because, like, I look at these cards, I have like a whole stack sitting here, and I'm just like, man, like Frostworn Paladin. How the fuck much is Frostworn Paladin if fucking Pendragon is that much? Okay, she's only $10. That's not that bad. Could have been worse. So yeah, reprints. I can I definitely, I mean, I'm not saying I don't understand the appeal for more affordable cards. I know it's a fine thing to balance. When it comes to Bandai, yeah, they reprinted in this Billion Bullet all the promo cards that we got as part of the packs, as well as some old ones like
And
the
the
Flame
tournament pack
Dramon.
ones too.
Yeah, the tournament pack ones, I mean.
Yeah.
But like Deathclaw started at 16 mat. Like what?
That's not
Uh
bad though. That's not bad.
it's a
That's a
starter
good
deck
card.
card. It's a starter deck card though.
So is Deathclaw.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
But that
But those
actually
aren't
makes it worse.
but that the math one isn't getting like printed again, so that starter deck is
Sure,
gone.
but it's a recent starter deck. Like Deathclaw, I would understand if it was like let's say Jack Raid. Well, all right. Let's say Jack Raid was a starter deck 6 card that didn't get hit on the ban list, then I would understand it because it's an old card that's seeing play. Deathclaw is not. Matt, I can understand, but Matt literally just got. It's the most recent starter deck. RB1 Hero. Who asked for this? He was
The what?
RB1 Hero. Who the fuck
Oh,
asked
oh,
for
like
him?
actual hero, my fault.
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck is an RB1 hero? I was just like,
exactly. Though, like, who? No, you don't even know who he is. Who asked for him? BT16 Salomon. Who asked for that? That's a fucking rare. BT17 Taomon. Why? That's a common.
exactly. We gotta give border colored, cards that needed for max rarity purposes.
The minimalist box those starters came in. Send me LMs and that to cut costs and charge $20 a set. That's what, so Nighthawk. That's what I was trying to. Well, when we were having this discussion with Lewis 2 days ago, I was trying to say that about the $200 set, like that they could have cut costs for that set and sell that set for cheaper, but you know they won't. More border colors, please. I agree, more border colors, but if you're gonna give us these shit pack filler cards, at least give us more cards that are worth it. Like, I'm not saying the promos and stuff aren't worth it, but when the game is clearly in need of more reprints, like the Cherubi Ace, like the what else can I pull up here that's expensive? Give me another expensive card, Dan. Protoform.
Medieval Gallimon.
I'll cut it some slack since it just came out, but Protoform, because at this point that card is over a year old and it's at its cheapest $32. That could have been printed in Billion Bullet. Why not?
Because it's already been printed.
Yeah, so is Venusmon. 3 times.
Those are all arts, so the LMs aren't getting all arts.
You could have given
Outside the 4
Protoform.
cards.
You could have given Protoform an alt art. And for what it's worth, the old X antibody is creeping up in price. I can't look up. Can I look it up this way? Here we go. The regular base X antibody from BT9, $7. That could have gotten a reprint.
Of your X antibody cards that were $2, if that, should have got them when they had a chance.
The $200 set was worth every penny. Retrospectively, because of the 6 cards that got revealed. I kind of hope Bandai just notices BT16, 17, and EX6 availability was shit for us and do something to interject those cards into the wild.
Yeah, some of the BT16 cards are, getting reprinted. And that's
it's not X antibody booby form.
Well, I mean, at this point, if you don't have the original X antibody,
we found out
like,
about
what you
those last
doing?
6 cards before pre-orders went live. I know. I was watching the stream when they revealed those cards, and what I'm saying, what my point was, if those 6 cards weren't the 6 cards that they were, if they were like, I got time, so give me a sec.
He's gonna pull up some obscure ass card or some shit.
Watch. Yeah, exactly. If those 6 cards were BT5 Omnimon Zwart, BT10 Mervamon, BT4 Gogmamon,
Gogmamon, really?
Gogmamon. Gogmamon. Fenrir Lugumon Takumi Kazuchi. Dynasmon Ace. And Zafagamon. Then that $200 set would have been complete trash. Gogmamon. Clip it. Go ahead. Clip it. But they weren't, obviously, and they were the 6 cards, or we say 6, but it was realistically the 2 and even the 1 card that made it worth it. Obviously now, yes, Magna X makes it more than worth it, but also Medieval, because Medieval was half the price. If it was any other card, if Medieval wasn't included, right? If Medieval wasn't included in that, and let's say Magna X wasn't included in that, right? And let's say they did, I don't know, Rena, and since we're talking about secret rares, Rena and let's say Galacticmon, right? Would that have been worth $200? No, not at all, because the value isn't there. But only because of the cards that got revealed that, yes, this is worth the value. But my point is, the amount of money they paid to print cards, that should have been like $150. They just know that they can get away with it because This is how much the cards are on the secondary market. Clip it, make it a sticker. Go ahead, Panzer, have at it. There's rumors that one of the main Discord admins bought extra boxes for event pricing. I mean, listen, I know people were upset that they like sold out. To people, that set is honestly a flop. If not for the few, it's really a super flop premium set. So I'm not calling it a flop, right? I'm not going that far. But I am acknowledging that the set is made good by the cards that were revealed, because in an alternate universe, switching out 2 of those cards even makes that set not as good value. They should have printed it into Oblivion. Even at 200, that would make the quarter for them. Yeah, so that's what I don't understand about like P Bandai and how P Bandai works. Obviously, I know they have a like people talk about like why put up a pre-order if you can't actually place like an endless pre-order. So I know they have basically a production capacity. So it's like, yeah, it's a pre-order up to a certain amount, basically the amount that we can print. So I agree. They definitely should have printed as much as possible, but I know and I acknowledge that there is a limit to how much they can actually produce, depending on like where it's coming from and what the timeline looks like and all that sort of stuff. So that a pre-order isn't necessarily a pre-order. Now that being said, they can do back orders. Is that something that P Bandai does? No. Making less product equals product looks more once it is success. Exactly. Especially for a $200 set. P Bandai oozes Japanese company ideas. It's terrible, but it is their in-house thing and they'll ride or die with it. That Panzer, those are the words for sure. The box and dice look very nice, made with felt and leather. Definitely. It's a hype tactic. Every time they sell out, the chance you panic buy when it reopens increases. Count me in, because I definitely panic bought. I was already on the fence about buying 4, and that just made me want to buy it. So yeah, I mean, I agree with that. But the thing is, right? I guess it goes right back into the conversation about like reprints and how do you balance a reprinting with not necessarily printing it into the ground. So for P Bandai stuff, that's the idea of like buying this $200 box. Like, how many times do you open this back up? The FOMO got Varney hard. It definitely did. I was like, damn, I was trying to wait till morning, like when I was like awake after I got some sleep. Just be glad it's not Pokemon, the Fearful Reaper, the death of the scalper, right? How attached to the Levias are you if they don't open up orders again for those who actually sleep Bandai? Um, I'm attached enough. I can probably let go of 2. I'll probably keep 2. If it's highly likely your premium cards will be off meta by the time they arrive, then just let them be print to order and have them arrive late. I don't disagree with that at all, actually. I wanted the matte and sleeves, but would have liked to have the Cherubi, Hex, and Medieval. 'Tis life. Yeah. Um, that's like the big thing. I mean, for what it's worth, thus is life for us being Bandai card game players or just Japanese card game players in general. As I feel like the Vanguard crowd suffers with sort of the same thing. The Bushido doesn't have a P Bandai, but I definitely know that they have like the same sort of like premium product stuff that is difficult to get if you can't get it on release or like on announcement and then like pre-order it, so to say. 3 to 12 are guaranteed to be meta relevant unless banned. The rest are just pretty. Yeah, pretty much. But I do agree with Lightspeed that it should be print order. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. It should be like just place orders and you'll get it when you get it kind of thing. I've been through this song and dance with limited edition Monster Hunter 3DSs. They'll easily resell for 300 plus. Damn! Monster Hunter 3DSs for 300? Vanguard promos are as bad as Digimon in price, but worse in that they are generic, say you put in everything. I mean, Vanguard promos, or you could minimize that sentence and just say Vanguard promos are worse than Digimon. What was that deck called? Oh gosh, I can't even remember his name. Not the 3DS, the premium Digimon box. Oh, what the fuck was his name? Youthberg. There we go. How much are Youthberg promos? I'm sure they went down now from how much they were before. But I remember there being a time when Youthberg promos were fucking expensive. Anything Brantgate instantly price wall by promo if you wanted to compete. Damn, I can't believe Brantgate got to that point. I like Vanguard. I still do. I do want to pick up Dare Days 2 and play.
All right, I'm back.
Hello, Daniel.
It is cold as fuck outside right now.
Yeah, bro. It's like
Stupid
it was
dog.
like nice. It was like nice weather last week, and now it's damn near dropping down to
I
freezing
know.
temps again.
And then next week is back to being warm again. Like,
Don't you just love
PA,
Northeast
PA weather? Yep, PA fucking weather for you.
There's a new
Jesus.
Youthberg line that's been power crept checks out. But it's great for the anime because we get to hear Break the Rock again, and it slaps. All right. Cardfight Physical has the same problem as Grand Archive. Overpriced niche game with shit reprints. Perfectly said. Perfectly said, Nighthawk. I can definitely agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. For warning, slow roll getting Dear Day 2, it's buggy as fuck still. Of course it would be. I don't understand why they didn't just release more shit for Dear Days 1 and why they came out with Dear Days 2. But I don't have time for that right now, anyways. I got to finish programming this stuff, which on that note, I should get back to programming. So, Dan, what's our parting words for our, what do we call this again? The Tamer's Take. What's our parting words for our Tamer's Take audience?
Digimon is back 2025, baby.
Hell yeah, brother. And I should be in bed an hour ago. Well, there you go. Now you get to bed an hour later. So yeah, that's been the Tamer's Take with Varni and Dan. I still like DGU plugin as a name for this. Dan, what do you think about the DGU plugin?
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's definitely should be under consideration.
All right, so we have the names under consideration as the Tamer's Take and the DGU plugin. It says for 0 days one we're dropping. Nobody wanted to shell out $300 for all the DLC. That's because they charge a mad ass amount of money for them DLC too.
Crazy.
Digimon is dead. Long live Digimon. Viva la Digimon. Yeah, all right. So I guess we can expect these I keep wanting to call it Digi Talks, goddamn. But we can expect these talk shows. Let's just call it talk shows for now. We can expect this talk show every Wednesday at around the same time. Length,
depending how bad turnout is.
Well, so the plan is that we'll basically, when the season's over, we'll sunset the Wednesday TBLs. We'll go back to just Friday TBLs, and then Wednesdays will just be our talk show nights. So, and we'll just talk random shit with chat. So, yeah.
Yeet.
Later, boys, catch you for Friday TBL and win that knockout, Varney. And I got to talk to you about trades. All right, bet. Another Hours to Liberator chapter. I got to catch up on the latest chapter. Caught up. No, wait, I think I am caught up. All right, bet. So yeah, that's it for this episode of the Tamer's Take / the DGU plugin / name TBD. We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bad time, same bad place. Peace.
Catch you on the next one.